What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Obsession. I'm Carl Bethke.
I'm Mike Stadler.
Mike, how you doing today?
Good.
It's rut time, brother.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
It's getting to be, heavy pre-rut right
So
now.
obviously we are filming this before that.
Yes.
Because you ain't going to see us sitting here.
No. We've been doing a few podcasts before we're doing them all. Just so you guys are aware, we're filming all the podcasts before we're on our hunting time.
Yes.
So we are currently going to be talking basically that, October 25th to Halloween time. This, everyone, is our favorite time of the year.
Yes.
It's October 26th here in southern Wisconsin.
There's a tank.
That's a tank. I looked here, come right in. Gave me about a 21-yard shot. And the reason for that is it's our most productive time of the year. And the reason it's the most productive is the bucks are answering.
Yeah. I would say we probably call this one like the 25th through the 5th.
Through November 5th?
Yeah. That's kind of about the same for us and most of that.
Yeah, pretty much. But we'll just break it down into the first week, though.
Okay.
Because that's 25th to the 5th. That's our vacation.
I know.
Rutcation this year, buddy.
About.
That's get you some. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, buddy. We got a new toy. We're just playing with it.
We're like kids.
Yeah, I know, it's bad.
I'm having fun right now.
Yeah, it's a good thing. But we'll just do the first week then until about Halloween. Okay. So right now, heavy pre-rut time. You guys will see Mike and I pull decoys out.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. Why don't you tell everybody what you call your decoy?
I love the decoy. Love the decoy.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is, like we talked about in our last podcast, this is when we start to do our calling around the 20th.
Yeah.
Now we get into the 25th. This is when we get aggressive. Carl and I get very aggressive. We love the decoy. I really love the decoy.
Oh, yeah.
We had a lot of success over a decoy. Biggest thing too is people don't know how to set them up.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
So that's the biggest thing. We watch it all the time. We watch it on the people on TV. Don't set them up right. They're out too far.
Don't set your decoys at 30 yards.
Because first of all, like Carl just said, don't put it out at 30 yards. Every buck, and I'll say every buck, that comes in, that is going to come into a decoy, is going to circle that decoy first. Mm-hmm. They are not going to come straight beeline to it. Nope. They're going to come around it, try to get wind of it, to face that thing head on.
Yeah, hold on. Mike said wind. Don't spray your decoys with rutting buck, urine, anything. Don't spray it all over the ground. Don't go buy an ounce of Tank 69 and throw it all over the field.
You gotta drink it.
You're better off to.
I know.
Get it out of the air.
Get it out of there.
Yeah. No. That's a hard pass. Fact. So, but do not do that stuff, you guys.
No.
Just, if you're going to do your decoy, you got to spray it down anyway.
Yeah. Well, you watch. We have some I know that you filmed. We filmed. I've sprayed decoys on.
Oh, I'm going to show that one.
But it's to get no scent on it. It's to get our scent off of it.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't want anything, in my opinion, that's going to deter that buck from coming in to that decoy. And if there's some goofy foreign smell,
you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Think of it this way. If he goes downwind and he can't smell that deer, now he's just going to be that much more interested.
That's what I was just going to say, because I'd rather him not smell anything. He's like, why can't I smell anything?
Yeah, he's going to go back and forth, and then finally he's just going to commit.
And he's going to work it more, come in. Big thing, I see people all the time, and you got to hunt the right stand to put a decoy out.
100%.
You can't just put a decoy anywhere. And, the decoy, if you got a buck decoy standing there, he's not going to stand there with his ass to the wind.
Nope.
So, and I see people set them up that way. I see it on TV, and they got the buck facing them. Like, if the buck's facing you and the wind is that way, you shouldn't be there anyway.
Yeah.
So, I mean, a decoy should be faced into the wind.
Yep.
And it should be close. I like to set them usually around like 15, 18 yards, somewhere around there. Quartered kind of into the wind.
Yeah.
And that's worked. Every time I've had one come into a decoy that way, that's how it's been set up.
And the other aspect of that is it's quartered into the wind, but it's also quartered into you.
Yep.
So when that deer comes around and they're going to be aggressive, if they come head to head with that decoy, they're mad.
Yeah.
And the head's down, they're sidestepping, usually body's all burred up, they're ticked off. You either choose at that moment to take the shot
or not,
or you're going to pass.
Yep.
So it's that simple. You know, you've got that, when you're doing decoys, you've got that, we'll call it the 5 seconds of fame there, because you got 5 seconds to make that decision. Now, it may take them 30 minutes to get in there.
Oh, God, I wish it was that fast sometimes.
but you've got that 5 second shot window usually when they're in there and being aggressive. Either you choose to shoot them or you don't.
Right.
And if you don't, they destroy your decoy usually.
You know, I'll throw one other thing out there too, because we decoy a lot. We've had a lot of success. Don't deter yourself from it if does are blasting out of there because of that decoy, because you're not hunting doe. Yep. You have to tell yourself you're not hunting doe. And sometimes the does don't like them.
Right.
They'll leave the plot. Who cares? At that time of year, or you know, wherever you're decoying, I should say. Yep. I do it a lot of times in a plot.
Yes.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I've had to tell myself several times, like, these does are leaving. I'm like, who cares? You're not hunting the doe.
They don't care.
Who cares? Let them leave.
Yeah.
The buck's coming in because he's going to challenge for that area.
Yeah, 100%.
That's why he's coming, and that's why you have the decoy out. So stick with it and leave it out.
Yeah, the other aspect is you hear a doe, you know, you sprayed your decoy off, you hear a doe blowing, and she's blowing and blowing and blowing. 9 times out of 10, she's ticked because the buck won't react to her because your decoy's not moving.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll walk off or whatever, or even if they run off and trot off, if a buck comes into the area, what he's seeing is that buck was chasing that doe around. She's leaving because she's not ready. I'm going to challenge this guy because I want his space.
Yep.
So we've filmed many times where does are all over us, and they leave, like Mike said, or they'll blow at the decoy or whatever and run away. And it's not 5 minutes later, and here comes Mr. Big out of the corner, coming right to the decoy, and one of us kills him. So, you know, like you said, don't get deterred on that. Don't get too cranky.
It was here last year, October, was it 27, 28, or 28, 29? We killed them both.
28, 29.
28, 29.
Yep.
And mine was a decoy.
Yep. And mine passed that decoy.
Yeah, and yours passed the same decoy and came in the next day.
Yep.
And like we said, mine came out, saw that decoy, did not like it, immediately was going to start to circle out to go into that plot, which was a bad idea for him.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was hoping he was going to do.
That's what the setup is about.
Yeah, that's what the setup's about, you know, so it's like, and decoys, like we say about everything, decoys or rattling or grunting don't work every time.
That's a fact.
You can have a big buck that's going to come on back. Yeah, I don't care. Not going over there. Or, nah, I don't like it. I'm leaving. It is what it is. It's 100%. Chances you take.
Yep. This time of year, I would say you've got about a 75% chance of every buck committing to that decoy if he sees it and comes into it. What you're going to see is if you have one or two, you know, the buck that Mike's talking about, he was one of the dominant deer on the property at that time. And as soon as he seen that decoy, because he came in, he was about 35 yards away, coming out of the bedding area, and the way that Mike has that set up, they come out of this bedding area and they can see that decoy, and he was going to try and sneak around through the woods on the backside. Well, what he didn't realize is that stand location is set up for either shooting the field edge for that or shooting that particular area. And he got one. So you got to make sure your setup's correct. Make sure the wind is correct. Make sure your decoy's there, no scent. Be patient. Be willing to talk to deer too, so calling is important. You know, you can use aggressive calls at this time. Don't be out there just doe bleeding, bat, 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 you know. And also don't really think that if you give a doe bleat, you got to constantly hit it with a buck grunt or something like that. Don't get too carried away.
We both kind of got away from the bleating.
Yeah.
A lot. We don't bleat that much anymore.
The only bleeding I do, honestly, is when I want to stop a deer.
Yeah.
Bat.
Yeah, and that's my mouth bleed.
Yeah.
You know, and we do, another thing we do is we rattle now. And especially, I rattle more with a decoy out.
Yes.
Because, and I'll tell you why, and I know Carl's going to agree, is because if you're rattling and you don't have anything in front of you, there's probably a buck somewhere that's going to come in you may or may not see.
Yeah.
And he's going to look and be like, oh, where the hell is that coming from?
Yeah, he's going to do what I call edging. He's going to edge you from 150 yards.
Yeah, maybe you won't see him. Maybe you will. But even if you do and you don't have anything there, and we've both had this happen to us with big deer. They come, they look, nothing, and you're like, God, decoy tonight.
Yeah.
You know, and then they're gone. They go, and almost every time, to both of us, they've done it, both properties, they go and destroy a tree.
Oh, yeah.
That you can watch them do it because they are mad.
Yep.
And you're like, and you know right there, you should have had something else.
Yeah, and what they're really trying to do is they're making as much noise and territorial setup as possible to let that other deer know, hey, I'm over here if you want to fight.
Yeah, come on out.
Yeah.
I got something for you.
Well, we got nothing for
Yeah, we got nothing. So that's a thing, you know, big thing. You know, we like to rattle. Carl uses horns.
Yep. Mike uses a bag.
I use a bag.
Yep.
So, and anybody can say one's better than the other. I think they both work.
Yeah.
Depends what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, and I have horns too.
Yep.
But another thing, and we've talked to some of our buddies about this, try to educate yourself on how to call.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And I'm not trying to say that Carl and I are championship deer callers, but we do know different tones. We use the rattling different. There is techniques to all of it. And anybody that's out there that uses calls and is successful will tell you that.
Yeah.
So you know, it's funny you sit around, like I've told one of our buddies, sit around, I said, get that grunt call out and practice with it.
Yep.
Sit in your recliner, I don't care, and use it. Like you think you're a dork.
You got to learn to work that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All new good grunt calls basically have a rubber neck, so you can actually control the tones.
That's what I call you, rubberneck.
Wait a second. Nice. But you can actually twist and distort the volume or distort the noise itself.
Oh, yeah.
You can also change, obviously, we've got reed adjustments inside the
Or
calls.
especially you and I a lot over the...
Well, throw it. It's like throwing your voice.
Yeah.
Throw the sound.
You can, like I was right there, I was covering up my voice from the mic, but if you get, and you can make that tone sound like it's coming from off the side of you or behind you, we do that a ton. Like I a lot of times will turn and grunt back behind me when there's a buck out in front of me.
Yeah.
I want him to come in.
Just remember, the biggest advantage that whitetail has is sound location. Any wild game in general, but whitetail, mule deer, anything like that, they are very good at sound location. Like they physically don't have to see you. You can call and they could probably come within 10 yards.
They are good at it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I was just going to hit on when you're talking about that is don't keep calling.
No.
Like if you grunt to a buck and he looks at you,
shut up.
Shut up. He knows where you are. Mm-hmm. And any of you out there that have done this know that deer will come to you within yards.
Oh yeah.
They know. They're smart.
And as if you're sitting there and the wind's blowing a certain direction and you grunt at them and they look and they stare at you for a couple minutes and all of a sudden they start walking where it's downwind direction, they're going to try and wind you is what they're doing. Now you can do one or two things at that point. You can either hit them again to stop them and maybe turn them back. And if you hit them again, they stop and they look and they do the same thing and then they keep moving again. And you can tell all of a sudden they're going to get downwind of you. Just shut up.
Yeah. Because
there's nothing you can do. And don't be the guy. Don't be the guy. Snort wheezes are a great call at the right time with an aggressive animal.
Yeah.
Don't blind call. Don't blind rattle. Unless your setup is prone for it.
Yeah.
And that means you have a decoy and you have a lot of space, open space, and I'm just thumping my mic, a lot of open space where these deer can see a long ways.
Yeah, or we've also said, or you have a spot that they have to come into tight to see it.
Well,
that they can't see deer.
That's bedding edge. Where you're, yes. Yep. So think of this time of year as the biggest, toughest hide and seek game you've ever played. That's the best way to do it. Because basically we're playing hide and seek with them to try and get them. We want them searching for us, and when they're searching for us, that's when we win. If all of a sudden they're just kind of randomly doing something, you call to them, and all of a sudden they get a little nervous, you're going to have to let them go.
Yep.
Don't be afraid to not educate a deer and try and hunt him the next day, or even that evening, or vice versa, depending on how things are going.
This is by far to us the best time of year.
Yes.
I mean, we love it. I love aggressive deer.
Yes.
I love it. And whitetail are an aggressive, mean animal.
They're the most aggressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen whitetail, taking on cows, taking on elk.
Yeah.
Taking on a moose, a whitetail buck. Yeah.
Remember that one that was with that ram?
Oh, yeah.
He was beating that ram.
He just shoves his antlers right through there.
A bighorn ram.
Yeah.
He headbutts a bighorn ram.
The ram's like,
yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, they are inherently, and people that tell you that they're all these really nice, pretty animals, sure they are, till this time of year.
Oh, yeah.
And they are the most aggressive, mean, pissed off animal in the woods.
They are.
And
that's why they're fun to hunt.
And that's why they're fun to hunt. And that's why they, we love this time of year calling. We love decoying. We love calling. Just make sure your setups are right. And we have a ton of videos out there in our podcasts that you can watch, that we show how we do it. We've coached people through it, how to do it, that have killed over decoys and killed with calling.
Coached them over the phone.
Coached them over the phone. Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We've done it. So it's like, it works, and but again, too, remember what Carl said, like, you better, like, I see this a lot on TV. I always reference the TV shows, but you see guys that set up decoys and they have an animal coming in and they're like, they just wait and wait and wait, and it's quick. Like Carl said, make the decision. If you're going to kill that deer, prepare yourself and get ready for the shot, because it's going to be quick. Because once they ram that decoy and the decoy goes down, they're most likely gone.
Oh, yeah. They're not.
Or they're going to jet out 40 or 50 yards and stop and look.
Yeah. What's that?
You're probably not going to have a shot anymore.
No.
So make the decision. Like, everyone I've killed on a decoy, it don't get to the decoy.
No.
It's dead before that. It gets shot before that.
Oh, yeah.
Or I don't shoot it, like you said.
Well, that Halloween buck I shot, Frankenstein.
He just didn't leave, though.
No.
He didn't care.
No, I zipped one right through him, through his heart. He went out there and stood there at 20 yards like that.
He got another one.
He hit me. He got another one.
Yeah, you get another one then.
Yeah,
that's
never
what you
stop
get.
shooting.
That's
Never
what you
stop
get.
shooting.
You get another one.
Fact. Fact. Welcome to the wall.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, so, the other aspect of this time of year is, if you are going to hunt edges of bedding, again, morning edge bedding hunting, it's just basically like last week where you're sitting on the edge. You can tuck in a little bit tighter now, but just make sure your wind is good and you have your exits and entrances correct.
Yep.
Also, be prepared to maybe sit a little bit longer this time of year.
So I was going to say our time spans now expand because deer are on their feet a ton more.
Yep.
So we sit longer mornings, small breaks, then around the late morning to lunchtime, and then we're back in early.
Yeah, you won't be seeing us sitting there this time of year all midday hunting near the bedding areas or anything like that. It's not that time of year yet. Depending on the weather, and does coming to estrus too. So pay close attention to your cameras. You're going to be able to tell whether does are in estrus by the pictures you're getting. So pay close attention to the doe's posture as they're walking. Also look at the back edges, their butts of the does. You can tell some of them that came into estrus early will be bred because their hair is all burred up on the back of their ass, basically. Those are deer that have probably already been bred, and you can see this in the woods. Pay close attention to that. Also, you will get a lot of doe activity on your scrapes this time of year. You will see them in there. They'll even be peeing in your scrapes.
Tails up a lot too.
Yep.
Peeing a lot. Those are the ones that you got to watch.
Yep.
They're the ones that are looking for love too.
And you'll know that that area is a good active place to be
that's where that's where you want to be.
Yeah. You'll find that there'll start to be less daylight activity in your food plots. They'll be on the edges of your food plots or in areas that is a little bit thicker. I have yet to see, and now I know it happens, but I have yet to see on any of my cameras or personally a doe being bred in a food plot. The bucks move them into a thicker area.
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
So
they chase them out of there usually.
Yeah. So something to keep in mind also. But I think that pretty much covers this week.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you guys next week. We appreciate you guys. If you want to just listen to the podcast, you can check us out at Spotify,
RSS.com,
Google,
Apple,
iHeart,
Amazon.
Also, remember to check out our shows on Wednesdays. That's where we'll be showing all our hunts. If you guys have any comments or anything like that, be sure to put them right down here in the bottom. Let us know how you guys are doing. If you want to send us pictures, check us out at rushoutdoorswi@gmail.com. We appreciate each and every one of you.
Yeah, buddy.
At least there were tree limb when I hit it. So that's great.